Okay, I'm Jack Halliday, grandson of W.D. Halliday, who was one of the earliest settlers in Lac du Bonnet, arriving here around 1900.
Jack, can you tell us about your paternal grandparents, W.D. Halliday and Frances Ethel Sutherland, and their choice of making Lac du Bonnet their home?
Okay, W.D. Halliday was born in the town in Ontario in the Ottawa Valley called Springtown, and his family was involved in railway business, worked for the CPR, and then gradually moved westward. And W.D. Halliday ended up in Weymouth when he heard of the happenings in Lac du Bonnet was starting to develop, and he traveled with Dan Wardrop down the Winnipeg River, the Weymouth River and the Winnipeg River to Lac du Bonnet. And subsequently, when the area opened for homesteading, he established one of the first homesteads in the area, which is where the museum now stands.
Can you give us any insight on how your grandfather chose the particular homestead?
Having been in the area for a little while, when the area opened up, my grandfather knew there was one of the nicest sand beaches on the Winnipeg River in Lac du Bonnet area. It was just downstream a couple miles from town, and he headed down there to stake out his homestead on the sand beach. But later, when the survey came through, he found out his homestead was a couple hundred yards back in the bush and not on the river. And of course, in those days, there were no roads in the area, and everything depended on transportation on the river. So it was important to have river access. He tried to obtain the property on the river adjacent to his homestead, but despite trips to Winnipeg to government offices and letters, he was unsuccessful. The property ended up being owned by MacArthur, who subsequently sold it to Ralph Chaplin, who established a resort on the property that was known as Holiday Beach, that operated for many years until hydro flooded the area and flooded the beach in the mid-50s.
W.D. Halliday was involved in the formation of Lac du Bonnet's first school district, number 1235. Tell us about his involvement.
He was the secretary-treasurer for many years, from the formation of the district until, probably the late 40s, early 50s, somewhere in that area.
In this photo, you can see the rural municipal office to the left. What was your grandfather's involvement in the newly formed RM in 1917?
He was the first secretary-treasurer of the newly formed RM, served in that position for a few years.
And how long was his term?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure just exactly what the dates were from the formation of the municipality until they hired Frank Tier as probably in the 20s or so.
Your father, John, born in 1906 to W.D. Halliday and Frances, is seen here hauling water in the village. When did your grandparents move to the village?
It was probably after the death of my grandmother, probably 1920s sometime, early 20s.
In 1922, a cyclone hit Landerville. Your grandfather was offering many services, including library services, throughout the district. Can you elaborate on them and the photo?
He did operate a livery business, and he traveled any government officials, the school inspector and different officials, plus the doctor. He would transport them around the area. And the Landerville tornado to flatten the schoolhouse and apparently damaged the teachers as well. There was no fatalities, probably a few injuries, but that was about it, luckily.
Which Halliday boy is shown in this photo?
That is my father, John D. Halliday.
Could you tell us more about him?
Well, he was the oldest son in the family. He had one sister that was older, and he eventually took over the family farm where he raised his family.
Again, on the library and freight business, can you elaborate more on it?
Well, he hauled freight up to the north to the mines that were being developed at the time. There was activity up past Bird River, an area where Tantalum mine is now. That was a lot of prospecting going on and attempted development in that area. And there was also mines up at Beresford Lake, Long Lake, and other in that area, and they would haul freight up there, the winter roads, bush roads. Apparently they would leave here from Lac Bonnet, travel as far as St. George, put the horses in a barn there and feed them overnight, and then carry on to another place called Gordon Lake, partway up towards the mines, and rest the horses again overnight, and then carry on to the mines from there.
You ever see moving to 3rd Street?
No, I don't know what year they would have moved there. I have no idea. It's located. The house was located where Chicken Chef is at present. The house burnt down. Probably in the 40s or so.
Your father, John, was employed at the Slave Falls project. Tell us about your father.
I don't recall him being employed at Slave Falls. I don't know where that picture came from. I have no idea.
Okay. Buildings on the homestead, what can you recall?
Well, that's right there. The building on the left is the ice house. It was, every winter it was filled with blocks of ice cut from the river and hauled up and stored in sawdust to preserve it over the summer. It was the only refrigeration available in those days. And the building in the center of the picture was a barn. And the person in the front of the picture, I believe that was my sister, Joan Lesko, who was the next oldest to me in the family.
And then here?
That's the one corner of the house that stood on this property. It was a 1.5-story house. And the two in the picture are my twin sisters, Janice and Joyce.
William Duncan Halliday was truly a Lac Du Bonnet trailblazer. Thank you, Jack, for your time. And is there anything else you want to add in conclusion to your remarkable grandfather?
Oh, nothing that I can think of at the present. No, that's fine. Yeah.